Most people believe that rich individuals succeed simply because they start with more money. They assume wealth is merely a result of luck, high-level connections, or raw talent. However, the most profound difference between the wealthy and the average is rarely discussed. Rich people think about the concept of time in a fundamentally different way. The average person treats time as a resource that must be spent or passed. They wake up every morning asking what specific tasks need to be completed today. Their primary focus is on staying busy throughout the daylight hours. They measure their productivity by how exhausted they feel at sunset. Wealthy individuals, however, measure an entirely different metric of success: progress toward a vision. They constantly ask whether their current time is building something that will outlast the day. They do not simply seek to fill their hours. They view every hour as a seed to be invested. Most people are caught in the cycle of trading their limited hours for a fixed income. They believe that working more hours is the only way to earn more money. This traditional model feels stable and predictable to the average mind. It provides a sense of security that many are afraid to let go of. But this mindset strictly limits growth because income vanishes the moment effort stops. Rich thinkers understand a powerful, universal truth that others overlook. They know that time is infinitely more valuable than any amount of money. Money can always be earned back, but time, once passed, can never be recovered. Every single hour that passes by is permanently gone from your life. Because of this, wealthy individuals protect their time with extreme care. They ruthlessly avoid unnecessary distractions that do not serve their purpose. They strictly limit low-value commitments that drain their energy. They say no to opportunities much more often than the average person does. They are not obsessed with the appearance of being busy. They are obsessed with the reality of being effective. They focus their energy on actions that create compounding long-term results. They understand that small improvements, repeated daily, create massive life outcomes. The real gap between the rich and the average is not a matter of raw intelligence. It is a fundamental difference in time awareness and valuation. Once you see time as capital instead of something to pass, your decisions change. Rich people view time through the same lens that investors view money. They treat every minute as high-value capital that must be allocated with precision. It must be positioned in a way that it produces a significant return. Most people spend the bulk of their time reacting to urgent but unimportant tasks. They get lost in emails, small errands, and routine social obligations. These minor activities provide a false sense of being productive. However, these tasks rarely multiply future results or create lasting wealth. Wealthy individuals think strictly in terms of return on time. They ask a simple question: will this hour create value beyond today? If the answer is no, they minimize that activity immediately. If the answer is yes, they prioritize it above everything else. They invest their time into mastering skills that compound over the years. They invest their time into building robust, automated systems. They invest their time into creating high-value, scalable assets. An asset is defined as something that continues working even when you stop. It could be a thriving business that runs without your daily presence. It could be digital content that reaches people while you sleep. It could be a portfolio of smart, diversified investments. It could be the development of valuable intellectual property. The key to this entire philosophy is the concept of leverage. Leverage means increasing your output without increasing your effort proportionally. Instead of working more hours, they design systems that work on their behalf. Average thinking asks, how can I work harder to get ahead? Wealthy thinking asks, how can I work smarter once and benefit many times? 10 focused hours building a system can replace thousands of hours later. This is the primary reason why they are willing to delay immediate rewards. They are comfortable investing massive time upfront for larger returns in the future. They treat their daily time allocation like a professional portfolio manager. They diversify their efforts to ensure long-term stability. They focus on reducing waste and maximizing the return on every action. This mindset shift completely transforms their daily decision-making process. It shifts their attention from mere activity to measurable impact. Over the years, this impact compounds far beyond the original effort expended. One of the most powerful shifts wealthy individuals make is buying back their time. Most people try to save money on every small expense they encounter. They hesitate to spend money on services that provide convenience. They believe doing every task themselves is the most responsible way to live. Rich people think about the cost of their time versus the cost of a service. They ask whether saving a few dollars is worth losing precious hours. If a task consumes hours but creates little value, they outsource it to someone else. They automate their payments to remove the burden of administrative work. They delegate repetitive tasks to capable team members or software. They hire support whenever possible to clear their personal schedule. They actively work to eliminate unnecessary friction from their daily lives. This practice is not about luxury. It is a strategic move for leverage. When small tasks are removed, their mental space expands significantly. With more mental space, they are able to make much better decisions. With better decisions, higher value opportunities naturally begin to appear. Average thinking says, I will do it myself to save my money. Wealthy thinking says, is this the absolute best use of my limited time? Time once freed can be reinvested into learning or building new assets. The ultimate goal is never to avoid work entirely. The goal is to strictly avoid low-impact work that leads nowhere. Over time, buying back your hours creates an exponential competitive advantage. Even a few extra focused hours each week accumulate into greatness over a year. Those reclaimed hours can be used to build a world-class skill. They can be used to launch a passion project or a new business. They can be used to grow and manage a sophisticated investment portfolio. Protecting time directly increases your long-term earning potential. The more high-quality time they control, the more strategic their actions become. They do not try to appear busy to impress the people around them. They try to create a life of total freedom and independence. True freedom always begins with taking absolute control over your time. Average thinkers focus on the weekend. Rich thinkers focus on the next decade. Consistency multiplied by time beats intensity without direction every single time. Do not wait for more money before you decide to change your habits. The real shift begins with how you choose to use your next hour. Wealth is created in thousands of small, intentional hours invested wisely. If you treat your time like capital today, you will own your future tomorrow.